And good morning. It's 7:04 on this Friday, March 4th. It's time to head to Studio B for Coleman and Company.
Hello, everybody, and welcome. A beautiful Friday morning, a fantastic Friday morning going for us, and we are on the air for Wilson Bank and Trust. And this morning, I have two ladies here to do the commercial. We have Vicki Srum, who's the HR Director. Good morning.
Good morning.
And we have Mary Flesh, who is Human Resource Officer. Good morning.
Good morning, Coleman.
It's nice to see both of you today. And what do you want to talk about?
We'd like to talk about some opportunities that we have for maybe some people who are looking to start a career in banking, or maybe looking to kind of see what banking might offer for their career opportunity.
So you have some employment opportunities right now.
We do. And actually, I think Mary and I'd like to talk about, as a customer, I think people think mostly about the employees that you'd see when you go into a branch office, for instance. As a customer, you may go in and talk with a teller, or you may go in and talk with the manager or a lender. But I think sometimes people don't think about the other opportunities that we have, maybe on the operational side. And Mary, you want to talk a little bit about some of those opportunities?
Sure. Like Vicki said, lots of times people are engaging with the tellers who, they're cashing their checks with or making deposits. And a lot of times people don't think about the back office side of the bank. And we have a lot of opportunities. You don't have to have prior banking experience necessarily. If you do, it's helpful. But if you have good customer service skills, good administrative skills, good computer skills, Microsoft Office, lots of times that's all it takes. You don't have to have, extensive like cash handling experience or anything like that. But we are always looking for good applicants. The world today, everybody needs help, it seems like. And Wilson Bank and Trust is a wonderful place to work. We're very involved in the community. I know that was a comment one of our applicants made yesterday. She said, I want to be a part of Wilson Bank and Trust because I see the name everywhere and y'all do so much good in the community.
Well, now, we're talking about 40-hour weeks for the most part, or?
Yes, for the most part, full-time opportunities. If anyone is interested, they can visit our website, wilsonbankandtrust.com, and we have our About Us section, and underneath that are our careers. And we have all of our job opportunities listed there. There's a description. It kind of tells you what the requirements are, what you need for that particular position, and you can fill out our application, attach your most up-to-date resume. That's the most helpful. That way we have all your information, and once you submit that, you get a confirmation email letting you know that your application has been submitted successfully. And then I go through usually those applications, see who has the experience that we're looking for, and I forward it out to the managers in the different departments, and even within the branches of the bank.
Well, I was wondering, are you mostly hiring for Lebanon and Wilson County, or the whole area?
Really
the
the whole
whole
service
area
area
that we serve, yes, we have opportunities, not in all areas, but sometimes if we don't have them in a particular area, say Gallatin, for example, if we don't have an opportunity there, sometimes people will start in a position, even at our operations center in Lebanon, and after we have requirements, how long you have to be in your position. But once you meet that requirement, then you're able to post for something else if we get another opportunity in the area where you live.
Well, the benefits that go along with employment are important. You want to mention those a little bit?
Sure.
Insurance, for sure.
Sure. We have our full-time employees, insurance, 401k opportunities, vacation time, those kinds of things. So we feel like it's a very strong employee benefits package.
Well, and what's the easiest way to contact you and get it started?
Actually, the best thing is to visit our website. That way you can see all of the opportunities that we have available at the time. And like I said, if the individual will just fill out their application and attach their resume, that's the first start. And it's not that hard to do either. It's pretty easy, Coleman.
Well, sometimes we think of certain jobs that mostly women aspire to, and others that men. Do you have any of those, or is this pretty much equal to both men and women?
Really, I'd say opportunity really depends more on what the applicant's interest is, whether it be something more like accounting or technology. Obviously, businesses everywhere, technology is a growing thing, and it's definitely that in banking. So opportunities there, administrative opportunities in even our marketing area, those kinds of things. So.
Well, you might brag on yourself a little bit. I know there's been some surveys that's been done in recent years, and you have been chosen as a superb place to work.
Tennessean Top Workplace. Yes, we're in the Hall of Fame as a Tennessean Top Workplace. So we feel very good about that, and we talk about that with our applicants. Our applicants often see that and then come to us because they know that. So.
Well, if anybody is maybe wanting a job or wanting to move up or just think they might like banking, this would be a good opportunity
Absolutely.
to try.
Definitely.
And the website is?
WilsonBank.com.
All right, wilsonbank.com. Well, it's good to have you both today. I hope you have some results, and it doesn't have to be just in Wilson County. I think we have a few listeners in our adjoining counties. So if you're interested, wilsonbank.com, and go from there, and maybe you'll wind up talking to Mary, right?
Exactly.
Right.
Thank you, Coleman.
Mary Flesh, Human Resource Officer, and Vicki Strum, the HR Director for Wilson Bank and Trust. Thank you all for being with us this morning. And we'll remind you again, it's Wilson Bank and Trust, member to FDIC, equal housing lender. They're still here, still independent, still committed to you. Excellence in banking since 1987. Okay, we're 10 and a half after the hour. It is a Friday, and Fridays in this time segment, we feature our Senator Mark Pody, who is here. Good morning.
Good morning, Coleman. What a day.
Fantastic Friday.
Absolutely. And I caught you saying fantastic Friday right away this morning, so that was awesome. And so I get to listen for that on a regular basis. Does he ever mess up? But Coleman, you never mess up. You always have the right word, right adjective for the right day.
Thank you. You don't listen all the time. Oh, I forgot what day it was the other day, but we won't talk about that. How's your week been?
Been great, and I did not bring scrambled eggs into you. I brought regular eggs for those listeners. I dropped all the eggs that I was coming in last week, so they were all broke. It was a mess, but it's been a good week this week.
Well, thank you very much, and we appreciate getting a dozen eggs almost on a weekly basis.
And Coleman, I enjoy farming a little bit. And this last night we had some lambs born. So that's kind of the first ones of the season so far. So we'll have a few more coming, I'm sure. But it was nice. My wife and I like going out and looking at the baby lambs, and the grandkids all come out and look at the lambs, and we enjoy them.
Well, when I was growing up, and my grandmother's 15 acres out at Centerville, she had about 10 or 12 head of sheep, and we'd have lambs every year about this time.
That's exactly
so
right.
So I know what you're talking about.
Okay.
Well, what you got there?
All right. So the first thing that's going on right now that is actually making a little bit of national news is, there's a truck rally that's heading to Washington, D.C. And they stopped here last night at the fairgrounds. And there were literally hundreds and hundreds of people there. And I was one of the speakers that actually encouraged the truckers, thanked them and such.
Good. We're going to have a firsthand report on that.
Absolutely.
So, all right.
So we had conservatives from all over the area that came in and to speak to the group and such, and to encourage them. And we collected some money for them to help them move them forward and such. In fact, John Rose, he came by as well. And so we put him on stage. It was a good turnout for the people coming to support the truckers going into Washington, D.C. And, of course, this is a fallout from what happened in Canada.
Now, what's their purpose, really, overall purpose here?
Well, I think that what we're trying to say as a group, that the federal government is overreaching their authority in what they're telling us, in some of the mandates that are going out, in what's happening. And this group of truckers are trying to say that's enough, that the federal government needs to get back in their lane and stay doing what they're supposed to, let the states do what they're supposed to, and let the local governments do what they're supposed to. We are not one nation that is ruled by everything in Washington, D.C. Each state has its own rights, and we're trying to make that point, and these truckers are going up there to help make that point.
All right. Well, I think they've had quite a following and getting quite a bit of publicity out of this.
They absolutely have. And I will tell you that even when I was driving in the fairgrounds, there were just hundreds of cars, with American flags all over, just honking their horns. It was a pretty good sight last night for the rally.
And you got to speak?
Oh, yes, yes. Now, Coleman, there's a lot of people that'll say where somebody is politically, and there's just no doubt that I'm a far-right person. I'm a fringe-type person. I'm extremely conservative. I believe in our Constitution. I stand up for it. I'm not a middle-of-the-road mellow guy. I am who I am, and I'm going to be kind of an ultra-conservative, and that's what I believe in. I believe in the average, everyday working person. I want to stand up for that working person. I want to stand up for our Constitution. I stand up against big government. I stand up against big business that takes advantage of the people.
Would you say that was, from what you gathered, most of the people there, that's the sentiment of most of everybody else?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. There were hundreds of people that have just said we're sick and tired of government continuing to tell us more and more what we can and can't do. Leave us be and let us go and do what we want to do. And that's just raise our own family, raise our own kids, and live our own lives. Stay out of our way. Let us make our own decisions.
Okay, we got to go to a break, but before we do, give us a tease for what we're going to talk about. We come back about what happened this week.
Oh, yes, we've had a few good things that happened, and I got to tell you something that changed, and it's going to be law because of our advisory committee yesterday afternoon, and I'm going to tell you what happened as soon as we get back.
All right, a break right here. This is Coleman and Company, FM 98.9.
And let's see what's happening on the roadways. Thanks to Absolute Kubota, large inventory of new and used Kubota mowers, RTVs, tractors, hay equipment, and more. Come in Saturday. Free popcorn. Check out the new Kubota products. 1506 West Main. Now at traffic, here's Chuck.
Good morning. They were moving a wreck a few minutes ago on 40 eastbound, right at 24. That's before you get over to Fesslers. It's a crash and everybody's staring at it. And here comes that heavy traffic, 65 down through Madison. It's picked up even more now on I-40 coming in from Hickman County through Dixon County. Warmer weather is waiting for you at Pensacola Beach. Book your next getaway. PensacolaBeach.com. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
The 34th Annual Tennessee Beef Agribition returns to the James E. Ward Ag Center in Lebanon, March 11th through the 13th. Friday, they will feature the Breed Show. Then Saturday at 10 a.m., selling Simmental, Hereford, Shorthorn, and Angus cattle. The 2022 Agribition will feature one of the largest trade shows in the Southeast. Open Friday and Saturday from 9 to 5 with Western attire, jewelry and decor, agricultural products, services, and equipment. That's March 11th through the 13th at the James E. Ward Agricultural Center in Lebanon.
Gregory Dental Group in Lebanon is a family dental practice located across from Vanderbilt Wilson County Hospital. They offer cosmetic procedures, dental implant services, and now featuring new digital dentures. Premium dentures in just 2 appointments. No insurance, no problem. Call about our discount plan.
Hi, I'm Dr. Derek Gregory. In my office, you can count on a compassionate staff who will truly listen to you, take the time to get to know you, and discuss your personal needs. I look forward to meeting you.
Gregory Dental Group, 444-0322, West Medora Parkway across from Gibbs Pharmacy.
Coleman and Company, thanks for joining us. Our Friday Senate report. Senator Mark Pody is here, live in studio, and ready to tell us what happened at Nashville this week.
So, Coleman, the advisory board that I have, and I sit down with a group of people, and I really try and listen to what they have to say on bills that were coming up. And one of them is coming up in transportation. It has to do with parking at the airport. And there's a group that's saying, if you're a veteran and you've gotten an award or a medal or something, that you should deserve to get free parking at the airport because you'd served in our country that way. Mm-hmm. And we looked at it and we said, okay, and that's a great idea. And the other side is, so if we pay for them to park, everybody else's parking rates are going to go up because, you got to pay the money somewhere. So if we give something free to one group, everybody else has to pick up that charge. So the discussion was, should we or shouldn't we let this group of veterans park for free at the airport? And as we were going around the room, it was like, yes, we like the idea, but we don't think that they should get the whole, if they're going to be there for 2 weeks or whatever. And sometimes they'll drive a car, and it might not be their car. It'd be Grandpa's car that served in the military, World War II or whatever, and they're going to take his car because he's got those license plates, and it's not him driving the car. Should they get that? Uh-huh. So we were going around the room, and as I was listening to everybody saying, they were saying, yes, we want to honor the veterans. We want to help them, but we want to have more controls on exactly what's going on and such. So I wrote up an amendment based on that. And while they were all talking, I wrote the amendment and submitted it in. I said, if we're going to do this, let them come in and maybe have the first day free parking, but not the whole time that they're there. And I think that was a good compromise and came directly from the advisory board that was sitting in that room. And I appreciate that because that's just an example of how much that they have influenced my votes and my thoughts down at the Capitol.
Well, what about this legislation?
So it'll be up to my committee, and I'm going to submit the committee to an amendment on Tuesday, and I'm going to say, hey, this is what the people in my district thought was the right thing to do, and then we'll vote on my amendment to see if it'll be put on the bill, and that way, if it goes through, that the veterans will still be able to park for one day at the Metro Airport.
But it won't cost everybody else an arm.
That's correct. It's still giving them an honor, but it's not going to cost, they won't have to pass that parking cost on to everybody else. So I think that was a good compromise, and we'll see how that goes.
Okay.
Something else that we just did was there was a really good idea of a bill, and it was putting a compact together. So several states over in West Tennessee, they were talking about getting together, Arkansas, Tennessee, Mississippi, and building maybe another bridge over the Mississippi River. And they were going to do it through a compact, so that was coming through, which sounds like a good idea. Let's get all the states in that area together, so not one state's picking up the whole cost and kind of dividing up that cost. The problem was when we were reading the bill, it did more than just the bridge, and it didn't give real boundaries on that, and it gave them the right of eminent domain and so forth. And even though it was a good idea, we had to stop that bill because it was so broadly written. It's hard to turn around and give one entity more power than they needed, and no end date on it. So even though it was a good idea, we stopped that kind of bill from going through because we just don't want to give anybody that authority for eminent domain and so forth without exactly knowing what they're doing, how long, and such. So that was a good place where we said it might be a good idea, but the bill wasn't ready, so we killed that bill.
You think it might come back in another form, maybe? I mean, we probably could use that bridge.
Yes. So I believe that next year, and to do a bridge like this takes years and years and years.
Yeah.
So, I believe it'll come back, but it'll be much more narrow, and it's going to say only for the bridge, only for this, and it's going to end as soon as the bridge is up and built.
That's one of the things, and especially legislation in Washington, D.C., they can attach so many riders or have it so broad that it take a Philadelphia lawyer to figure out what is allowed and what is not. And we pass some legislation like that from time to time that frankly, I think should not even hardly be looked at.
Yes, and I will tell you, anytime that we give authority to any kind of entity, it's hard to take that authority back, and I like the fact that they have what they call a sunset clause or an end date to it, so it automatically ends rather than automatically renews and has to be taken away. So I'd much rather have a program, if we're going to start something for a specific project, that entity ends when that project's done, and I'm much more inclined to vote for something like that. We already have enough government entities out there. We don't need more.
Well, your committees are trying to wind down, I think.
Yes. So
it's not a lot of news really to report from what I've gathered so far from you.
Well, I will tell you that I had the Department of Tourism in, and I know I didn't make a lot of friends with them this week, but I'd like the Department of Tourism and such, but they wanted some extra money. And it was unallocated money. In this case, it was $25 million. And I said, look, before we go through this, and this is a public committee meeting, so anybody can go to the tapes to watch it. And I said, in this department, this section, you had 34 employees, and your payroll was $2.7 million a year ago. And I said, now you got 35 employees a year later, and it's $3.7 million. And I said, that's $1 million for one extra person. I said, I need you to walk me through and explain how that happened. And I said, another thing is, you want $25 million. Last time you used some of that discretionary money, and you gave tickets to people that wanted to fly. If they booked a room here in Tennessee, that we would give them an airline ticket, but they didn't have to use that airline ticket to come to Tennessee. And I said, that may have been a great program, but just representing my taxpayers, I don't like giving our tax money to somebody else for airline tickets somewhere else. And I said, I did not feel good with that kind of marketing program. And they said, well, maybe it wasn't that much money and so forth. We thought it was a good idea. And I said, unless we have real clarity, I don't want to give you extra money. And I like the Department of Tourism, but I want to make sure we're very accountable for any dollar they're spending.
I bet you got their attention.
I did. Like I say, I was not the popular guy in the room, and none of my other colleagues kind of backed me. They all were bragging on how good they are, but I do watch the numbers. I do want to make sure that somebody is accountable, and if there's money like this out there, it's not their money. It is our money. Coleman, you and I and every other taxpayer have to spend that tax money and send it to Tennessee, and somebody needs to be watching that money, and I watch it. It's like we need a watchdog on that, and that's what I do.
I want to ask you about a problem that arises when we have a lot of rain and cold weather, the potholes that come as a result. And I don't know whether much of this has reached your office or not, but of course, and I think they've tried to do their best to work on them and everything. But I did have to me, just hilarious thing that happened the other day. Mark Hinesley was here from the Mount Juliet Chamber of Commerce, and they'd put a speed bump somewhere down there on one of the roads at Mount Juliet, and he didn't know it was there. He hit that, and it made a big noise, and then all that. He said, instead of spending money for speed bumps, let's fix the potholes.
Oh, Coleman. Now, I can tell you almost got to tell the police that all these cars that are swerving, they're not drunk drivers, they're just avoiding the potholes, you know. And it's horrible. It is absolutely the worst condition that I've seen our highways in. And they are doing emergency paving on trying to fix these potholes. But to fix as many as there have out there, it's going to take a little while for us to go through.
Well, it's a state problem with state roads. It's a local problem with county and city roads, I think, and I'm sure they're all working on whatever they can. I don't know how much attention has been directed to you about that.
A lot. Debbie gets calls on that on a very regular basis. In fact, somebody over on the Linwood Road, they said, you know, you've got to get that road fixed. You know, it was just. They were angry and letting me know. And believe me, coming off of 231 onto 40, that entrance ramp, exit ramp, it is horrible. It's in horrible shape. But we are on them, and they are working on it. It's not like they're ignoring us. They've got emergency crews going across the state doing it. And this is the first week that we've got good weather. They can be fixing it.
What about the budget and transportation? What's going to be spent on roads? Is there quite a bit more there, or have you paid any attention lately?
Yes. So typically the budget's been about $2 billion is, you know, and we get about half of that from the feds and half of it from the state. We're doing the gas tax and so forth. But we're actually increasing that substantially. We're putting hundreds of millions of dollars extra in there to try and get some of these projects fixed, trying to get the Improve Act done. I am going to tell you, Coleman, that next year, I would be having to find some way to find more money to go into the transportation. The gas tax is not the answer because it's going to be a declining money coming in. We've got to find a way that we can fund them, especially with more and more electric cars out there. We've got to find a way to make sure everybody has the right. They're paying their fair share for our roads. And I don't want any new taxes or anything like that, but I want to make sure we're having dedicated funding to go into that.
What we're going to do if the electric vehicles really become popular and they don't use gasoline, so there's no gas tax there, how are they going to pay their fair share?
All right, so I've already submitted some ideas such as this. If you buy a tire, no matter what kind of car you're having, you're buying a tire is going to go on our roads. And I'm saying, let's take the sales tax we're already paying on those tires. It's already an existing tax. Dedicate that money to go to the roads. That way, if it's an electric car and they buy a tire, it's going to the roads. There's other ways that we can do it to take some of the current existing money that we're collecting it's going to be used for everybody, make that money go to the roads. Another one would be batteries. If you're buying batteries, make it go to the roads. We're also looking at the electric charging stations that we want to make sure if somebody's going to be doing charging their car, we want to make sure that we can find a way to have that money, that portion, the same amount that they would have been paying for gas, go to the roads as well.
Well, this is not going to happen overnight. It's going to be over a period of time, and you do have time to think about that and maybe come up with the best solution you can. It's not, you don't have to have an answer next month.
No, but it is going to be something, if we don't do it, rather quickly. We're going to be looking at this 5 years from now and saying we're behind and so forth. And if we're going to do something with electric cars, I would rather have that in place now before people are buying electric cars. If I were to give an example, California right now has 42% of their traffic is electric cars. 42%. They're leading the nation. In Tennessee, we have less than 1% are electric cars. And sooner or later, Tennessee is going to be having more and more electric cars. I would rather have those costs in place when people are making a decision whether they want gas or electric. They know what it is.
All right, we've got 30 seconds. What's going to happen this next? What will we be talking about next Friday?
The budget. Those talks are about through. They're almost all through the budget committees, and now we're getting really serious on where is our money going to go? What are we going to do with this $10 billion?
All right, thanks for being with us today as always, and we will see you next Friday.
Thank you, Coleman.
All right. That is part one of Coleman & Company. Keep it here for more. FM 98.9.
And let's see what's happening on the roadways. Want to thank our friends at Bates Ford and the low price tire guarantee on all tires every day. Up to 30 days after the sale, there'll be any competitor's pricing on the tires they sell. 1673 West Main. Now at traffic, here's Chuck.
Good morning, T-Dot's trying to wrap up an earlier crash here on 40 eastbound at 24 as you come off that Sutherland Evans Bridge. Traffic starting to build pretty good now on 65 South at Trinity Lane. Still moving right now on I-40 coming in from Hickman County, Dixon County on 40 east through Kingston Springs. Warmer weather is waiting for you at Pensacola Beach. Book your next getaway, PensacolaBeach.com. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
Here comes the sun. Hey, Medina, here comes the sun. Spring is just around the corner.
Call us and we can come over and tell you what your home is worth in this market, and it's free.
Yes, free and no obligation. It's time to get ready for the spring buyers. Inventory is low. We have buyers who need listings.
Here comes the sun. And remember, don't make a move without us.
Call Judy Cox or Medina Himmentoller at Exit Rocky Top Realty. C&D Team 443-3130.
It's all right. What is your passion? How can you use that passion to enrich your community? Hi, this is Melanie Minter, President and CEO of the Lebanon Wilson County Chamber of Commerce. Your chamber is the resource for making connections to fulfill your passion. Whether education, nonprofit, agriculture, entertainment, or government relations, Wilson County offers a place for you to be involved. Your chamber connects businesses, individuals, and your passion to the community. We have an enthusiasm for excellence. Join us and catch the spirit. Call or visit our office at 149 Public Square in Lebanon.
It's finally Friday, and today's forecast calls for bright sunny skies with highs in the low 70s. So nothing to slow you down in the weather department. On Saturday, temperatures will be in the low 70s. This weather forecast is brought to you by Walker Auction and Realty, professional auction and real estate services. Get top dollar for your home, land, or personal property. Log on to MikeWalkerAuctions.com. They know auctions. That's Look at Your Forecast. I'm meteorologist T.J. Scott.
Coleman & Company, welcome to part two. Here on a Friday morning, we have the C&D team of Exit Rocky Top Realty, two of them anyway. Miss Judy and Medina are both here. Judy Cox, Medina Himmentoller. Good morning to both of you.
Good morning.
Oh, that was in unison.
Oh, yeah.
Sometimes we just do that.
Oh, well, they're located at 1330 West Main in Lebanon. Great people, great service. Somebody answers the phone 24 hours a day. They're people you can trust. We say that every Friday, but it's true. So we might as well bear down on it, right?
That's right.
And how are you, Miss Judy?
Doing good.
All
Doing
right.
good.
What's
Love
going
the
on?
week. It's been great weather. We've gotten out and walked some farms and some lands that people are getting ready to put on the market. So it's been a good week to walk them and didn't have to walk in the mud, thank goodness.
Well, how about you, Medina?
Doing good. You know, it's been a very busy week. And like she said, we've been talking to clients that want to put their house on the market or want to know how much their house is worth so they can decide if they want to put it on the market. And most of them have said, yes, let's go for it. So we're getting that ready. So, you know, the sun is shining like our commercial says, here comes the sun.
Yeah.
So you better get ready.
Well, we wanted to talk about, we've got a few new listings too, but we've got a great deal. It's a perfect starter home or a retirement home. And if you go up 70, like you're going to Smithville, when you see the big water tower on your right, and there's a restaurant there, I think it's called Kilgore's on your left. If you turn down that road for 1 mile, it's a 1,194 square foot home. It's 2 bedrooms and 1 bath. It's brick.
And they've taken the carport and made a sunroom out of it. A beautiful job with that. The washer, dryer, and stove and refrigerator all stays with it. These people had it just as a secondary home, and they don't need it anymore. And they've said, just go ahead and get rid of it. And it's got a wonderful price of $184.9. And there's not anything that I know of that needs to be done to it. There's a fence in the backyard that belongs to the other neighbor, but it makes your backyard be fenced. And there's nice houses on each side of it. Across the street, there's a gated house. And it's just 1 mile off of Highway 70 as you're going into Smithville.
You said 184?
184.9.
That's a steal.
The people said, just go ahead and get it gone, and they're ready to move it. And I didn't see anything that was wrong with it. I mean, it's nice bathrooms. It's got the PVC pipes already in it, in the plumbing, and they've enjoyed it as a secondary home and just ready to go ahead and move it. And the driveway's paved, and it's just a great deal if you want to be just right in the entrance to Smithville on Highway 70.
And that's not too far from some good fishing too, right?
That's right. You can go to the lake. It can be a secondary lake house for you. But $184.9 is, like I say, a great price for it. So I'm going to let Medina talk about another listing.
Tell us about another one.
Well, we always say that we do a lot of Wilson County, but we also do surrounding counties. But I'm going to talk about two that's in the surrounding counties.
All right.
And they're both in Cookeville. One of them is in Cookeville anyway. And this one is 4 beds, 4.5 baths, a little bit over 5,000 square feet. It's what you would call a mansion of a house. And it has all the bells and whistles you could ever want for in a house. And it is beautiful courtyard in the back. Everything in the inside of the house is tray ceilings and crown mold, tile, hardwood floors, granite. It's decorated to the hilt as far as your framing part of it and your crown molding everywhere. And of course, they've decorated it very pretty. But if you take away all the furniture, it is still a beautiful house, and you can do what you want to as far as your decorations are. But it is in Cookeville. It's on 3918 Stonewall Drive in Cookeville. And it's listed at $845,000.
Okay.
$845,000. And it is on half an acre. And it has all the craftsmanship that you could ever dream of. And all the bedrooms are, there's 3 floors to the house. And so there's bedrooms on each floor. There's 4.5 bathrooms. So you have the primary bedroom has the master or the primary suite. It is just, you can't say enough about it. You've got to see the pictures to actually get what I'm talking about.
All right.
But it is in Cookeville. So we'd be glad to show you or help you guide you through that to get you to that one. And also we have another one in Pigeon Forge, and it's a piece of property on the parkway. So if you're looking at, and it's commercial, so if you're looking at opening a business or know somebody in Pigeon Forge that wants to open a business, tell them to give us a call. And we have 7 acres right there on the prime parkway to that be interested in somebody opening something up. So give us a call on that one. So
You got a price on that?
it is 2.4
All right.
million. So, give us a call. Like I said, we do Wilson County and we do surrounding counties too. So
7 acres of prime
real
land
estate.
right there in
That's right.
Pigeon Forge.
And that's just another reason you don't want to make a move without us.
All right.
Don't forget the Kiwanis.
Okay.
And also the Kiwanis. Kiwanis reminds you about the Kiwanis Celebrity Roast that's coming up March the 31st at the Capitol. And the celebrity that we're roasting is Mr. Dr. Paul Stum.
Right.
And so we have the tickets at our office. They're $60 a ticket. And it's first come, first serve. When we're all out of tickets, we're gone. So give us a call on that one.
All right. Well, thank you all for being with us. Have a good week. And one more time.
Don't make a move without us.
All right.
Have a good
C&D
weekend.
Team, Exit Rocky Top Realty, 1330 West Main Street in Lebanon. Judy Cox, Medina Hemmentoller. And that takes us to about 22 minutes before the hour. Let me tell you that the rest of our program this morning is being paid for, a political program paid for by the Republicans of Wilson County. And former Senator May Beavers is with us. Good morning.
Good morning.
Where'd Jerry run off to?
He prefers to stay outside,
All right.
like always.
And the other gentleman that's with us this morning?
Brad Lytle, Chairman of the Wilson County
All right.
Party.
Mr. Brad Lytle, Chairman of, okay. Now, it's my understanding we want to talk about the upcoming primary election and explain really what that is all about. Oh, no, okay, I made a little mistake here. Mr. Lytle, you are on now, so good morning.
Great. They tell me I have a face for radio.
Well, I'm operating the mics here, and that one threw me off for a minute, but we're okay now. May get us started here. What's really elaborate on the purpose of your being here, if you will.
Well, we want to talk about an event that we have coming up, but first let me just lay some groundwork about what's going on in Wilson County. 3 years ago, we voted to have our first primary. That was the year that Judge Collins was elected as a Republican. Rusty Keith was elected as a county commissioner. Shelley Gardner was elected as a Republican public defender. And then Stephen Goodall ran for tax assessor as a Republican. So that was our very first. We'd had a caucus a long time ago and nominated some Republicans, but this has kind of changed the face of Wilson County. We have all these Republicans running this year. Brad is chairman now, and we voted to have primaries, Republican primary in Wilson County.
Well, you can, as I understand it, you can decide to do that. I mean, that's the way the law is written. You
Right.
want a primary, you have one if the county party requests it.
Right.
Okay. And I do know you've got another event that we want to talk about. I think we're doing another program about a month from now when we'll talk more about the primary maybe. So I may be getting the cart before the horse to start with, but the event that we want to talk about.
We do have a dinner coming up on April 7th at the Farm Bureau Expo Center. It starts at 5:30, and there'll be an hour of meet and greet with the local candidates, and then we're featuring all the candidates, and there's a lot of them that want to run to represent us in the new Tennessee 5 U.S. Congressional District. They've all been invited and they've accepted, and they'll be here to come and tell us why they think that they should be our representative and what makes them qualified for that job. So that should be a very interesting. And as you know, the Tennessee 5 is separated Davidson County into 3 different congressional areas. And the gentleman who was the congressman for just Davidson County, Jim Cooper, has decided not to run again as a Democrat. And those 3 areas now will be more Republican than the old congressional district of just Davidson County itself. And it gives opportunity here, which we hope for, that it'll be an additional Republican congressman going to Washington to represent our Republican values.
Anything you want to add to that, May, about this April 7th event?
Can I just throw in there that I have had John Rose as my congressman, and I've been very pleased with John. He's been a great conservative, represented this county so well. In fact, at our dinner last October, we gave him the Freedom Award, which is an annual thing that we're doing now in the party. That's how much we think of him. And you may still have John. Some people in the area do, but he's only got like 20-something thousand people left in this county. It kind of makes a ring from down the lake area up to Watertown. So some of us are really upset. So I'm telling these candidates in the 5th District, these new people, you got big shoes to fill in this county. So we're going to really be looking at them, what they stand for. But the dinner is going to be a great opportunity to come and meet these candidates for the first time and see what they stand for.
Now, what are there tickets for this? Is there a cost for it and so on?
It's $50 a person. There'll be a nice dinner catered by, my mind just went blank.
Caterer.
No, my favorites. I'll think of it.
All right.
Yeah. I'm
I'm
getting
not
old.
the only one that has that problem.
I know. When younger people have that problem, I said, thank goodness it's not just me. Jordan's
Oh,
my
Jordan's.
favorites. Yeah,
Okay,
they're
yeah.
great. But Jordan's will be catering it, and it's a great opportunity for our local candidates to come and meet a lot of people. But we'll also have some people coming from the surrounding counties to see what this 5th district race looks like.
All right, how can you get a ticket for this?
You can go online to wilsoncountygop.com and order your tickets. There's a link there to buy your tickets, or see any of us. We will be selling them at our next meeting, which is a week from tomorrow at Music City Baptist at 9 o'clock.
Mm-hmm.
We've had great meetings lately. A lot of candidates are attending, and we've been running about 175 at our Saturday meetings, both the party and the conservative group. Our party's growing in this county. It's just phenomenal what's going on.
Well, as word gets out, I'm sure the tickets are going to go faster. Is there a limit? Are you pretty much unlimited as far as?
I think about
Pretty
limited.
unlimited. The size of the expo center, they could accommodate 1,500 people if they opened up both sides. We typically just take half of it, though, and I think the max there is about 700 people.
Right. Okay. So Wilson County GOP. And you can get your ticket there, and again, $50 and a meal catered by Jordan's Catering. And how long? What time and how long do you expect this to go?
5:30 to 6:30 is an opportunity for local residents to meet and greet with our local candidates. That's another thing that we're offering all of our local candidates, and we're inviting them. Please come. We're going to provide you with a table for your signs, your posters, your bumper stickers, or whatever you have to promote yourself. And we hope they'll all take advantage of that. And that'll be 5:30 to 6:30. And the program and dinner will start about 6:30 and probably end at 8 o'clock.
Okay. So quite an evening, really. And you're at least where you are, you can accommodate a lot of people. If the crowds swell, you got a room for them, and
We certainly do, and we welcome that.
yeah, right. Okay, it's time for us to take a break. We'll talk more with May and Brad in a moment. This is Coleman and Company, FM 98.9.
And let's see what's happening on the roadways. Want to thank Bates Ford and the Works Vehicle Checkup. They'll make sure your vehicle is ready for any road. $49.95 up to 5 quarts oil, tax and disposal, tire rotation, safety check too. 1673 West Main. Now at traffic, here's Chuck.
Good morning, T-Dot. Still over here with that pickup truck that crashed on 40 eastbound right at 24. As you come off the Solon Evans Bridge, you're definitely going to see it. Apache Trail at Barl Arena, that's across South Nashville. Still moving on 24 as you come in through the Jolton area, just heavy traffic. Warmer weather is waiting for you at Pensacola Beach. Book your next getaway. PensacolaBeach.com. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
You have a vision. We have the financing to make it happen. At Wilson Bank and Trust, we have the resources that individuals, families, and businesses need to grow and achieve their goals. As an independent local community bank, we're able to provide loans with great rates, fast decision-making, and personal service from one of our local, friendly lenders. We believe in the power of possibility. It's why we say yes more often. Wilson Bank and Trust, member FDIC, equal housing lender.
The 34th Annual Tennessee Beef Agribition returns to the James E. Ward Ag Center in Lebanon, March 11th through the 13th. Friday, they will feature the Breed Show, then Saturday at 10 a.m., selling Simmental, Hereford, Shorthorn, and Angus cattle. The 2022 Agribition will feature one of the largest trade shows in the Southeast, open Friday and Saturday from 9 to 5 with Western attire, jewelry and decor, agricultural products, services, and equipment. That's March 11th through the 13th at the James E. Ward Agricultural Center in Lebanon.
Talking about the meet and greet today.
Coleman and Company, thanks for joining us here. This is a Friday morning, and our program is being paid for by the Wilson County Republican Party, and we have Brad Lytle here, who is chairman of the group, and May Beavers, you're a member, you're an officer as well.
I'm a vice chairman.
Vice chairman,
And
okay.
immediate past
And we are having this meeting on April the 7th. It's going to be at the Ag Expo Center, to Ward Ag Center.
The Farm Bureau Expo.
Farm Bureau Expo, right. April the 7th, and tickets are available. Go to the Republican website, Wilson County GOP. It all starts at 5:30 and probably over by 8:30, something like that. But you're inviting, there's a lot of people going to be there, and plus the meal catered by Jordan's Catering. And again, tickets are $50. And this is the primary reason for you being here this morning. Some other things we want to talk about, but to help you get the word out about this particular one. And you're expecting a lot of candidates to show up, right?
We are. Well, there's a lot of candidates just in the 5th Congressional District race, but here in Wilson County, I'll let Brad give you those numbers. I know he's got them on the tip of his tongue.
Okay.
Well, we're really excited about the results of people pulling primary petitions. We had no idea how many would take advantage of that and what the opposition might look like. But the results are in, and the filing deadline is over. And of the 50 approximate positions that are open, including all county government, all 15th judicial offices, and all of the schools, there's about 50 positions open. We have 60 Republican candidates who have filed petitions to run as Republicans. There are about 15 who have filed as independents. And much to the joy of our state chairman, Scott Golden, there's only one Democrat who has filed a petition to run in Wilson County, and that's for the Lebanon Special School District. So the results are far beyond anything we had imagined, and we're very grateful for that, and we're proud of these people who came forward and want to embrace Republican and Tennessee conservative values and run as a Republican. It should be a great race, and I predict that Republicans will win.
Now, and all these that are Republicans are invited to be there that night to meet and greet.
Yes.
And possibly some of them to speak.
Yes.
Okay.
Well, the speaking is going to be held to the candidates for the 5th Congressional District.
I got it.
Since there are so many, you mentioned that we'll probably get done around 8 or 8:30. If we let too many people, it would get done around midnight with all the Republican candidates.
But they'll all be there that want to come for the meet and greet between 5:30 and 6:30.
Yes.
So people have an opportunity to learn more about them in that venue.
Absolutely, and pick up a yard sign, et cetera.
Yeah.
They'll all have a table and have their materials on it, and like Brad said, pick up a yard sign, take it home, and help support all of our Republican candidates.
Well, there's some other things you mentioned during the break that we might talk about this morning.
Well, the growth of the party in this county, we have a young Republican group now that is headed up by Hunter Yochis, a young attorney, and he's doing a great job of that. He's been very persistent in trying to get new people in. You can find them on Facebook, Wilson County Young Republicans. You can find the party on Facebook at Wilson County TN. Let me see, Wilson County Republican TN Republican Party. How is it, Brad? I can't even remember now. We had to put TN in there because there's a Wilson County in North Carolina and there's a Wilson County in Texas.
Oh.
And so we have to distinguish ours. And yet we still have some people from those areas trying to join.
It's WilsonCountyTNGOP.com.
Well, May, you've been a big part of this, but it hadn't been. I mean, in my lifetime, and not that long ago, we were not primarily Republican. And when you started your career, there were more people that considered themselves Democrats, I think, in Wilson County than Republicans, and that has changed. It changed a lot. And both of you can talk about it. What do you attribute that to?
Well, I think the Democrat Party has changed. I grew up in a Democrat household. My father was a union president, and it was basically a party that looked out for the little guy, that looked out for the common man, the working man. And that's changed radically over the last 20 years to be totally my father would not be a Democrat today. The values that they espouse and put forward in their platform in the 2020 campaign at least, have nothing to do with the values my father held. So I think that's the cause for the change. May, could you speak to that?
Well, I was just going to say, when I ran the first time, I was the only Republican. Well, I actually lost my first race by 270 votes and then came back and ran again. When I was elected, I was the only elected Republican in Wilson County. I had part of Rutherford County and Marshall County. And so, and when I ran for Senate, I was the only Republican in DeKalb County, Smith County, Clay County, Macon County. So the whole region has changed over this time. We've elected more Republicans. By the way, Wilson County will now, part of Wilson County will be represented by Representative Terry Lynn Weaver, who's been down there a while from Smith County. She'll be doing the national anthem for us that night. Plus the other 3 legislators that we have that are elected Republicans. So, it's been just a gradual change that I've lived through, suffered through, and everything else to see this county come to the point where we are now.
Well, where do we go from here? Is it going to stay that way, you think?
I think so. I mean, how can you go back and like Brad pointed out, the Democrat Party has changed drastically. It's not the Democrat Party of our fathers. And so I think that's been the biggest thing.
You think it is, as long as they stay like they are now, if they don't change back, that it's here, we're gonna be very strongly Republican?
Well, who can ever predict history? But, I think we saw history change drastically when President Trump was elected in 2016. And I think we've tended towards being more conservatives, even the National Party. And now, with an administration that is so far to the left, I think this next year is going to be tremendous. We'll have the congressional races and hopefully take over the House and the Senate in Washington.
You mentioned some young people being affiliated with you, and I guess you have the young Republicans and whatnot. What is that a growing group? I mean, are the younger people catching on, picking up the values that you espouse?
I'm encouraged by some of the young people that have joined the Young Republicans. It gives me hope for the future, because I see a dark future if the course of the national politics keeps going in the direction that it is. So I see great hope, and they're facing a real challenge on college campuses and even in our local government schools as to the indoctrination they're getting for liberal values. So when I see some brave young person stand up for conservative values against a lot of peer pressure and opposition, I'm really encouraged by that, Coleman.
How closely do you work with the younger people in the Republican Party here in the county? They have a place, I guess, and what is that?
Where they meet, they meet at the chamber in Mount Juliet.
They have their own meeting.
They have their own meetings.
Okay.
They also attend our meetings, and Hunter Yoches is on our board. So they're very integral to our organization.
Well, is it a growing thing with them, you think?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
But there's room for growth, so we invite all young people to consider joining them. And the reason for joining them or us is not just for the elections. We need to have people on the ground watching government. That's our job. That's our duty as citizens of this great country, is to not just elect, but to also hold our representatives accountable for the kind of government they're giving us.
All right. Again, Brad Lytle, who's chairman of the Wilson County Republican Party, May Beavers, the vice chair, are here this morning. And I guess in our last 2.5 minutes here, we need to get back to your April 7th meeting. And this is, from what you're talking here, you're preparing for a really big occasion. And so many Republicans are going to be there, and you need to get the word out here. Tickets are $50, and you can buy them online. And it all starts at 5:30 at the fairgrounds, the Farm Bureau Expo Center. And you got room for anybody that wants to come, at least 1,500 people, maybe.
we have room for that, but we're not anticipating that many. But we'd welcome that.
All right. But the Republicans candidates who are on the ballot for the primary, and they're all planning. You're planning to have them all. They're all invited.
Yes.
And I guess you sent the invitation out one way or the other, word of mouth or letter or whatever.
Yes.
Okay. Anything you and catering by Jordan's, a good meal by Jordan's Catering.
That's right. They always have a good meal. And I wanted to add, too, to show you how the party's growing in this county, we have 3 women's groups now that are all very active. And, we're expanding, and we have a great executive committee. You said Brad was chairman. I'm vice chairman. Brian Moran is our secretary now. He's doing wonders with our social media.
Also our webmaster.
Yes. And then we've got Sharon Kloba, who is the vice chair, and she's been a great help. John Brown is our treasurer, and our vice treasurer is Beth Myers. And then, of course, our state executive committee people, Terry Nicholson and Jerry Beavers, are on the committee by virtue of their positions. And everybody's really working together now. We're getting more organized than we've ever been. When you're working with an organization, you got differing opinions, and we're all coming together. We're working together. We've asked the women's group to help us with this event, and they're all, very good to help us.
All right, and we'll get to mentioning Republican candidates. So there are some contested Republican races in the primary, but there's several who are unopposed. But you're inviting them all. They're going to be there to meet and greet at 5:30. And then you've got the congressional candidates, I believe, who are going to be speaking that evening. And you'll probably be through maybe by 8:30.
Yes.
All right. Well, thank you all for being with us this morning. Brad Lytle and May Beavers, and our program again presented by the Wilson County Republican Party.
Thanks for having us.
Oh, thank you
Thank
very
you.
much. And that's it for Friday. And until Monday, I wish you a fantastic day.